What's up, everybody? It's Jared with Capture the Magic, and part of Disney's plan this summer was to debut the Starlight Nighttime Parade at the Magic Kingdom, as I think Disney was looking at this to really fortify their summer, try and bring in the crowds, even though it's not premiering until really late into July, and hoping that was going to bring in the crowds. And it seems like that is not the case, or at least Disney is signaling as much that that's not currently the case right now, as Disney has said that they are now lifting the blockouts that they currently had for cast members and also for annual pass holders as well. So we're going to read through this and figure out what is going on here. And is this due to the heat? Is this due to already established travel plans? All that stuff. We'll talk about that and dig into all of this here. So again, this is Blog Mickey. It says Walt Disney World ends Disney Starlight annual pass holder park pass restrictions. It says Walt Disney World has announced they have ended Disney Park Pass theme park reservation restrictions put in place on annual pass holders for the debut of the Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away Parade. The restrictions were put in place from July 20th through July 27th and have ended effective immediately. They did say annual pass holders may visit the theme parks without a theme park reservation on a good-to-go day after 2 p.m., except on Saturdays and Sundays at Magic Kingdom. The limited time theme park reservation requirements for Magic Kingdom Park, which were in place from July 20th through July 27th, have ended. And it says, here's a look back at the Disney Park Pass reservation restrictions that were put in place for the annual pass holders exclusively. It says, for a limited time, due to anticipated high demand for the new Starlight Dream the Night Away Parade, pass holders visiting Magic Kingdom Park at any time of day, including after 2 p.m., must have a theme park reservation. Pass holders may enter Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom after 2 o'clock without a park reservation. So essentially, they were setting it up expecting a massive amount of people to come in, and when they do this, many times they will restrict you from being able to park hop in, and obviously the good-to-go days were not going to apply to Magic Kingdom, as the annual pass holders are the only group that still have to deal with the park reservation system that everyone absolutely loves.
What did you say?
Says that restriction has now ended and the regular restrictions are in place. And then as well, they also ended it for cast members, assuming the same thing here. Says following the news that Walt Disney World has removed restrictions for annual pass holders wishing to visit Magic Kingdom, it looks like they have removed blockouts for cast members as well. Cast member blockouts for Magic Kingdom were initially lifted through the end of July, but additional blockout dates have been removed as well. As of published time, cast member blockouts to Magic Kingdom have been lifted through August 14th. A typical cadence of cast member blockouts then begins for the Halloween season starting August 16th. The combination of removing restrictions for annual pass holders and lifting blockouts for cast members signals that Walt Disney World is pretty comfortable with the anticipated crowd levels that will be brought in for the Disney Starlight Parade. I think that's a friendly way to say that the crowds coming in for the parade are not what Disney was hoping for. I think that very much is clear, as they were really hoping for a big push, a big group of people, a big demand coming in for this parade, at least thus far, is not materializing. So I guess you could go into the reason as to why. I had said all along, I did not think that a nighttime parade or the shows that they premiered this summer were going to be enough to really push attendance. And we've already seen Disney do a lot of discounts this summer, and it's been really reported all over the place that theme park attendance at Disney has not been where they want it to be. It has been very low. One of the lowest summers, I believe Touring Plan said, since 2022 or 2021, back in the COVID days. And I know some people are going to point to and say, what does Universal look like? And we don't have official attendance numbers for Disney or Universal, but we look at thrill data here on just, average monthly wait times here at Islands of Adventure. If we look at, say, a couple of years ago in July, average wait time was 35 minutes. Wait factor they have on their internal scale here was at an 8 in 2023. Last year, average wait time was 31 minutes. Wait time or wait factor of about 5 minutes. And this summer or this July, average wait time of 29 minutes, a wait factor of 4. So going off of recent trends, Universal, it's not like they have a massive spike in their attendance, but if you kind of look at this, it's kind of tends to follow the same patterns here outside of kind of the anomaly of, say, 2022, whenever both Disney and Universal really saw a big bump in their attendance numbers during that time period. I guess you would call it the revenge travel time period. So Universal looks like it's holding kind of steady normally. It doesn't look like there's a major drop or a major jump here. And I think you kind of tell this from, you look at the monthly wait times here when you're talking about Magic Kingdom compared to, say, what we saw at Universal. I mean, Disney's are definitely on a downtrend. If you were to look at this as a stock, I mean, it is definitely in a downward trend here overall. And so like the last, like say in 2023, we'll look at the same range we looked at Universal. Average wait time is 29 minutes, a weight factor of 3. We're talking about Magic Kingdom. Last year, they were average wait time of 23 minutes and a weight factor of 1. And then this summer, or this July, average wait time of 22 minutes and a weight factor of 1. So whatever Disney's doing this summer, hoping for this summer, has not come to fruition, and it's not coming to fruition with this new parade coming online. I had said the whole time, I think you were basically going to appeal to pass holders that were going to come check this out. You weren't going to get a whole lot of people, booking exclusive trips that are out of state or out, really traveling from long distances just to come for a parade. And I think that's very indicative of this. Now, as to reasons as to why you may not have as many annual pass holders showing up as they anticipated, probably does have something to do with the heat, as there is another heat warning that has been issued for Central Florida, and this affects Disney World and Universal Studios. And this was as of today, as it's looking like the extreme heat is hitting where we live and also in Orlando. And so the heat index is looking like it could be anywhere from 112 to 115 degrees.
Hot.
So it's going to be very, very hot during the premiere of this parade. And I've said before that I don't think, people just all of a sudden figured out that Florida's hot and that is what's leading to a lot of the down attendance during the summertime. But I think specifically when you're talking about travel trends, I think in general people are willing to travel at different times now, and just people in general would much rather go to theme parks not during the summer if they don't have to. I think, historically people always had the summers to take vacations, and now people are much willing to take kids out of school different times, go when it's cooler. But I think when you're talking about specifically this week with this parade, as this was mainly going to appeal to locals and annual pass holders to come into the park to check out this parade, as again, that you only had 30 days notice about this parade when they announced it, that wasn't going to lead to a lot of people taking just specific trips from out of state just to go check out this parade. When you're talking about locals and annual pass holders, and when you're talking about a heat advisory of the heat index of 112, 115 degrees, people that can choose to go to the park kind of wherever they want are not going to choose to go when it's that hot. A lot of times they'll deal with the heat on some level. When you live in Florida, you're kind of used to the heat, but a lot of people will wait, if it's in the lower 90s or maybe closer to the fall, the winter time, that's when a lot of locals will come. So I don't think if Disney was hoping that this was going to bring in the annual pass holder crowd or bring in people from out of state, I don't think the offerings they had this summer or this parade are moving the needle on that front. And it's going to be very interesting to see this issue. If I do think it's going to continue to be an issue in the coming years, as if Disney wasn't able to get people to come to the parks right now for multitude of reasons. It could be economic, could be heat, could be deciding not to travel in the summer, could be people going over to Universal. There's a lot of reasons it could be for Disney, but I don't think this is a problem that they're just going to have this year. This is going to be an issue potentially for Disney for the coming years as they get all these things completed and done, and hope that moves the needle for them. But in the meantime, between now and these new things opening, are they going to be able to get people into the parks like they want? And I think this is why you saw their announcement of Launch Bay going away to Hollywood Studios to make way for that new animation studio, which I actually do think is a good move. But if you look at the timetable on that, that's premiering next year, and they're trying to find things in the short term that they can kind of try and turn around in the park to really bring people in, especially families, as so far this year, with the discounts, the new shows, the parade coming online, those have not moved the needle for them. And so I think they're going to continue to try and find things here and there that they can turn around in the short term to really try and bolster their attendance. So this is likely a problem that's going to face them for multiple years. And we'll have to see how creative Disney gets with this. I think they're going to continue with some pretty aggressive discounts during this time period, and probably a lot of similar things like we saw with Launch Bay, where they're replacing that with some short-term things they can turn around very quickly to try and have a multitude of things to try and offer people on top of discounts to get them into the parks. This summer, Epic Universe is not as much of an issue for them as it will be in following years. Again, as they iron out the issues with that park, it gets better, it gets more reliable. It will become more of an issue for Disney, undoubtedly. And I think you're looking at next year and the coming years, it could really be something that starts pulling people over to Universal away from Disney. And then the big question is going to be, are the things Disney is building, are they going to be enough to bring in the people that they're hoping that it does? So I think that's the issue Disney currently is facing and will be facing for multiple years coming. And we'll have to wait and see if it picks up. Obviously, you got Halloween season around the corner, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and then you're leading into the Christmas time. And I think Disney is really hoping for a big Christmas time, as that's actually technically Disney's first quarter of their fiscal year. They actually end their fiscal year, I believe it's September 28th. So it looks like for the ending of the fiscal year for Disney will probably not be in a super high mark with attendance. For now, that is what it's looking like this summer for Disney. I don't think this is the summer they were hoping for, and we'll have to wait and see if it turns around getting closer to Christmas time this year. But either way, that is going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about all this? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.